My favorite thing about the Child Language Doctoral program is the interdisciplinary focus and the fact that we are able to have a primary advisor in the Child Language program, and we're free to work with advisors in outside departments as well. Work in a lab in the Child Clinical Psych Department with Dr. Yo Jackson, looking at the language abilities of kids who have experienced adversity and maltreatment.
Outside of this lab, I'm involved with an eye tracking study on semantics in young children, as well as a project through the Department of Applied Behavioral Science looking at adolescents with autism.
My favorite thing about the program is that we have flexibility in our coursework. So even though I'm focused on genetics in my research, I can learn about the phenotype and behavioral implications in courses.
My favorite thing about the Child Language program is how accessible the faculty are. I know that I can talk to anyone who's part of the Child Language program whenever I have questions about what they're doing in their research and when I want to get involved. We have a class that's just for students in our program.
Forming a specific understanding of how molecular genetics applies to the realm of language and behavioral phenotypes that we see that is not in like a medical or clinical perspective.
I think one really cool outcome from that is there was recently a journal that had a special issue on epigenetics of developmental disorders, and it was really cool to be able to read all of those articles and know exactly what they were talking about with the genetic expressions and all of those different elements.
My favorite thing about the Child Language program is that we all bring different backgrounds to the table. For example, prior to KU, I taught as a public high school teacher for 3 years in New York City, and I taught students with autism.
Worked as a speech-language pathologist at a private practice on the south side of Chicago for a year before coming here.
Prior to the Child Language program, I got a bachelor's in neuroscience and worked in a microbiology lab on the Borrelia-Burgdorferi genome.
Before coming to KU, I received a bachelor's degree in linguistics, and I worked for a school that treated kids with autism and other developmental disabilities using ABA.